Hello students, today's topic is multiple sclerosis. Multiple sclerosis, it is also a brain disorder. So in introduction, it is an inflammatory and demyelinating disease. Means when the person is having the problem of inflammation in the brain, in that time the person is developing this disorder that is called as multiple sclerosis. Inflammation is the body's own immune cells attack the nerve system. Means when the immune system means body's own immune system, when immune cells which will be attacking the nervous cells. So because of this, the inflammation which will be generated in the brain, and because of this, the person is having the problem of multiple sclerosis. And demyelination means we all know about the anatomy of brain, in that the myelin sheath which will be present. So the myelin sheath, it is a protective covering of the nerve which is destroyed. This myelin is destroyed, leaving multiple areas of scar tissues or sclerosis. It is and it is a progressive disorder. Means this disease which will be progressive, means it will be continually this disease which will be showing the symptoms. Then most common age occurrence which will be between 20 and 40 years. So these all are about the multiple sclerosis. So basically the multiple sclerosis, it is an inflammatory or demyelinating disease which will be affecting the age group of 20 to 40 years. Then the definition of multiple sclerosis, it is an inflammatory disease in which fatty myelin sheath around the axons of the brain and spinal cord are damaged. So this multiple sclerosis, it is an inflammatory disease. Why this is called as inflammatory disease? Because when the body's own immune system which will be attacking to our body or brain, in that time the patient is having the problem of inflammation. So in this, the fatty myelin sheath around the axons of the brain and the spinal cord are damaged. So because of this, the patient's brain or spinal cord axons which will be surrounding the brain or spinal cord, it will be damaged, and it leads to demyelination and scarring, as well as a broad spectrum of sign and symptoms. Means after and this demyelination, it will be showing the sign and symptoms. So in this picture we will see that the patient is in this picture we will see there will be two pictures of neurons. So first picture, that is indicating that neuron with the myelin sheath. So this is normal, and in this we will see that the neuron with damaged myelin sheath. So when the myelin sheath which will be damaged, so in that condition the patient is having the problem of multiple sclerosis. Then what are the incidence rate of this multiple sclerosis? That will be 0.1% worldwide incidence, and 4 lakh people in US have multiple sclerosis. Then the ratio is increasing now, but and the prognosis which will be worse. Then predominant age, that will be 20 to 40 year. Then 1 to 3% risk of multiple sclerosis among first degree. It will be relative highly variable and unpredictable. Then higher incidence which will be in northern European areas, decent and in temperate climate, but the latitude gradient is decreasing. So these all are about the incidence rate of multiple sclerosis. Then what about the mode of action? Means how it will be affected to our body. So the immune system attack axons. When the immune system which will be weak or which will be affected or which will be having any disease, in that time the immune system which will be attacks the axons. So when the axons which will be attacked by the immune system, it will be causing the destruction of the myelin sheath. So because of this, the myelin sheath which will be destructed. So when the destruction of the myelin sheath occur, it will be resulting in a conduction block which leads to permanent loss of function. So because of this, it will be creating the permanent loss of function. So this is the mode of action. Then pathophysiology of this multiple sclerosis. So how it will be affecting. So previously, as I have already told you that it will be inflammatory disease. So in that the autoimmune response means when the immune system which will be damaged, in that time when the autoimmune response it will be result in damage and lost fibers. So when our immune system which will be damaged or which will be responding inadequately, so in that time it will be damaging or lost the fiber. So because of this, nerve can regain myelin. In our brain, the nerves which will be regain myelin, but process is not fast. Means the nerve which will be able to regaining the defected myelin sheath, but in this condition the process is not faster. Means the process which will be not faster. So in that condition the brain is not able to maintaining the proper myelin sheath so fast enough to avoid the deterioration that occur. Means the deterioration which will be occur, so it will be not enough, so that occur astrocytes. So it will be creating the astrocytes. Astrocytes form uh, astrocyte form the scar, and because of a scar where myelin formerly existed. So in astrocytes, in astrocyte, the astrocytes which will be form the scar. So the what do you mean by this astrocyte? It is a star shaped glial cell of central nervous system. So it will form a scar, so it will be forming the scar. So dead cells which will be present where myelin formerly existed. So because of this the myelin which will be formerly existed. So because of this the inflammation which will be occurring in the brain, and it will be loss of myelin. So because of inflammation the loss of myelin sheath which will be occur, and nerve fiber which will be also lost, and the scarring that follow result in reduced transmission of the nerve signal within the central nervous system. Because of scarring means when the inflammation which will be occur in that particular area, so it will be lost the myelin and nerve fiber. So when the loss when the myelin sheath and the nerve fiber which will be losing, so it will be creating the scar. So when the scar which will be formed in that particular area, that follow result in reduced transmission. So when the scar formed in that particular area, so the scar which will be creating the obstruction. So when the obstruction which will be occur in that area, so it will be reduced the transmission of the nerve signal within the CNS. So the central nervous system which will be not able to sending or transmitted the nerve signal. So when our body which will be not getting the sufficient sufficient signals by the central nervous system, in that time our organs which will be not able to do the proper functioning. And because of this only the types of symptoms and severity vary widely due to the location of the scar tissue and extent of demyelination. So when the transmission of nerve signals which will be reduced, so the central nervous system is not able to send the signals to other body organs. In that time it will be showing the sign and symptoms, and it will be occur because of location of the scar tissue, and it will be extent of demyelination which will be leads to multiple sclerosis. So these all are about the pathophysiology of multiple sclerosis. Then what are the causes of this multiple sclerosis? The multiple sclerosis cause which will be not clear. Means the exact cause which will be unknown, or the cause which will be not fully clear. So in multiple sclerosis patient, a higher number of immune cells is seen, which suggests there might be an immune response. This is suspected to be due to a virus or genetic defect. So means the researcher means thought that a higher number of immune cells, which will be seen in the patient who are having the problem of this multiple sclerosis, which suggests there might be an immune response, and it will be occur because of our own body's immune response, and it will be suspected to be due to, and it will be occur because of any viral infection or any virus, or it will be also affected by the genetic defect, any genetic abnormality or any gene defect which will be creating the abnormal functioning in the immune system. Then other causes are environmental or hereditary, so it will be also affected by any environmental factor or any hereditary factors. So these all are about the causes of multiple sclerosis. Then classification of multiple sclerosis. So the classification of multiple sclerosis, it will be divided in four classification. So first is the uh, First, in this graph, you will see that increasing disability, and this is the time. So first, relapsing or remitting multiple sclerosis. Relapsing or remitting means, relapsing means it is deteriorate after a period of improvement, means unpredictable attack, which will be uh, which may or may not leave permanent deficit followed by period of remission. Means it is unpredictable, means we will not thinking that the patient is having the problem of attack or any attack which will be occur in the patient who are having the problem of multiple sclerosis, but this attack which will be unpredictable, which may or may not leave permanent deficit. So sometime it will be the patient is having the problem of permanent deficit of function of the brain, which will be followed by period of remission. So the remission means the temporary uh, remission means a temporary dissipation of the severity of the disease, means it is the severity of the disease, so it is temporary. So this is about the relapsing or remitting multiple sclerosis. Then in second graph we will see that primary progressive multiple sclerosis, gradual progressive progression of the disease from its onset with no relapses or remission. Means in this stage the patient is not showing any symptom or any relapses or remissions, but it will be gradually progression, means this disease which will be gradually progresses, means silently this disease which will be progresses in that brain. Then next is the secondary progressive multiple sclerosis. In this initial stage of relapsing or remitting multiple sclerosis, that suddenly begins to decline without period of remission and relapses. Means in this we will see that suddenly it will be begins to decline without period. Means in this first we will see that the period of which will be followed by the period of remission, but in this it will be decline, it begins sudden, it will be suddenly begins to decline without period of remission and relapses. Then next is the progressive relapsing multiple sclerosis, steady decline since onset with superimposed attacks. So in this stage the patient is having the problem of superimposed attack. So these all are about the classification of multiple sclerosis. So this in this stage the unpredictable attack which will be occur, and in primary progression silently the progression which will be occur, and in this stage there will be no relapses or no remission. Then secondary prognosis may the initial RRMS that suddenly begins to decline without period of remission or relapses. But in this means in this picture we will see the increased disability, the disability which will be increased. So in this progressive relapsing multiple sclerosis, the patient is having the problem of superimposed attack. Then the symptoms of this multiple sclerosis, it is changes in sensation in the arms, leg or face, which will be 33%, optic neuritis which will be 20%, weakness that will be 13%, double vision internuclear ophthalmoplegia, it will be 7%, and unsteadiness when walking 5%, and balance problem it will be 3%. Then main symptom which will be present in the multiple sclerosis. So this multiple sclerosis, it will be affecting to all organ of the body, because the central nervous system which will be not able to transmitting the signal to the organs. So in that condition, all organs which will be affected. So in central, we will see the patient is having the problem of fatigue, cognitive impairment, depression, or unstable mood. And in visual, we will see the patient is having the problem of nystagmus and nystagmus, optic neuritis, or diplopia, double vision. Then the patient is having the problem of in space, the patient is having the problem of dysarthria. Dysarthria, it is a difficulty or unclear articulation of speech. Then the patient is having the problem of in throat, the patient is having the problem of dysphagia, means swallowing difficulty. Then in musculoskeletal, the patient is having the problem of weakness and spasm, or the patient is also having the problem of ataxia. Ataxia, it is a loss of full control in bodily movement. Then next is the sensation. The patient is having the problem of pain, then hyposthesiasis, or the patient is also having the problem of hyposthesiasis, that is numbness, which will be present in the patient's body. Then paresthesias, it is tingling sensation or any pricking like sensation which will be feeling the patient. Then next is the bowel. In bowel, the patient is having the problem of incontinence, diarrhea, or constipation. Then next is the urinary. So in urinary, the patient is having incontinence, frequency, or retention. So these all are about the sign and symptoms. Then expanded disability status scale. So in this scale, it is a method of quantifying the disability in multiple sclerosis based on 8 functional systems. Means in the patient's body, these 8 functions which will be properly function or not, so it will be quantifying this scale. So first is the pyramidal, that will be ability to walk. Then next is the cerebellar, that will be coordination. Then brain stem, speech and swallowing, sensory, touch and pain, bowel and bladder function, visual, mental, and other in other any other neurological findings which will be present. So this will be a level at spent year, how many year, and this is the expanded disability status scale. So in this, if the patient is 10 point and getting 10.0, so the patient is in a death due to multiple sclerosis. And if the patient is getting 0.0, means the patient in neurological examination it will be normal. But if the patient is having 4.5, so in that time the patient is fully ambulatory. And if the patient is having 9.5 scoring, 5.0 to 9.5, in that time the patient is having ambulation impairment. So this is the scoring of the expanded disability status scale, and um, it will be developed by this 8 functional system. Then next is the investigation. So in investigation, first is the CSF, that will oligoclonal band, abnormal colloidal gold curve or elevated gamma globulin IgG, mild mononuclear cytosis, and myelin debris, normal or slightly elevated protein. Means these are the findings which will be present in the patient who are having the problem of multiple sclerosis. So in this, when we will perform the CSF examination, say cerebral spinal fluid examination, in that time we will see these all things in the patient's CSF report. Then next is the blood test. In blood test, we will see B12 and folate elevated, or folate level, or anti-nuclear antibody titer. Then antiphospholipid antibody syndrome must be undertaken in patient with evidence of blood dyscrasia, and in women with unexplained miscarriage or history of deep venous thrombosis, then elevated erythrocyte sedimentation rate, ESR rate, and positive titers of rheumatoid factor should help identifying the presence of vasculitis disorder that may be mimicking multiple sclerosis. Then next is the MRI. MRI, that is the imaging test. So MRI of head and spine, more sensitive than CT scan, may show many plaques. MRI reveals multiple lesions with high T2 signal intensity and one large white matter lesion. These demyelinating lesion may sometimes mimic brain tumor because of the associated edema and inflammation. So these are the investigation, and the investigation which will be find out in the patient who are having the problem of multiple sclerosis. Then this is the picture of the multiple sclerosis. This is healthy brain, and this is the plaques which will be formed in the brain. So with the help of CT scan or MRI, we will see in MRI that the patient's brain with damage, lesion or plaque. So this white patches, this is the formation of the plaque, and in this picture these white patches, it is the name for the multiple sclerosis lesion around the ventricle based brain vein of multiple sclerosis patient seen on MRI. Then what are the management for this patient? If the patient is having acute attack, we have to give the steroids because it is an inflammatory disorder. So we will give methylprednisolone 500 to 1000 mg per day IV for 5 days, followed by tapered oral prednisone or methylprednisolone, which will be 1 gram per day IV for 3 days, or oral taper. Then disease modified treatment. So in this we will give 6 treatment have been approved by FDA. So in this we will give interferon beta 1A, interferon beta 1 2, 1B, then glatiramar acetate, a non-steroidal immunomodulator, then metozentron, it is an immunosuppressant. The next is the natalizumab and fingolimod drugs. So these 6 drugs which will be used in the patient disease modified treatment. So the interferon and glatiramar acetate are delivered by frequent injections that will be varying from once per day for glatiramar acetate to once per week, but intramuscular. Then the next, that is natalizumab and metozentron are given by IV infusion at monthly intervals. So these are the management which will be given to the patient of multiple sclerosis. Then in manage multiple sclerosis with symptoms. So if the patient is having the problem of spasticity, in that time we will give the baclofen 5 mg per oral 1 to 3 TID, and it will increases as needed. Then we will give also diazepam 2 to 5 mg at bedtime. Then if the patient is having pain in that time, we have to give the NSAID drugs, that is gabapentin, effective versus the multiple sclerosis pain syndrome. So we have to give this drug. Then if the patient is having the problem of bladder dysfunction, so the patient is having bladder dysfunction, constipation, because the brain is not able to send the signal to the organs. So in that condition the patient is having bladder dysfunction. So in that time we will give propanthelin, that will be 7.5 mg per oral, and then we will give oxybutinin chloride, that will be 5 mg per oral. It will be TID or QID. Then next is a prophylactic antibiotic for urinary infection. Then self catheterization for inadequate bladder emptying. Then next is if the patient is having constipation, in that time we will give a stool softener, bulk producing agent, laxative suppositories. Then in coordination or tremors, if the patient is having tremors, so in this in coordination or tremors, we will give we will give if the patient is having depression and emotional ability liability. So in that time we will give the antidepressant agent and psychotherapy and support. Then if patient is having paranoia or mania, in that time we will give haloperidol, that is the antipsychotic drugs. Then hemifacial or dysesthesias, in which we will give carbamazepine, that will be 100 to 200 mg per oral once or twice a day to start. Increase to total daily doses, that will be 600 to 1600 mg QID. Must monitor serum levels. So these are the management which will be according to the symptoms of the patient. Then next is the current treatment. So the current treatment which will be given to the patient who are having the problem of multiple sclerosis, a protein substance which will be naturally produced in the body and believed to function to modulate the immune system, where one infection with one virus interferes with the subsequent infection with another virus. Means a protein substance which will be naturally produced in our body. So we believe that the function, or it will be modulate the immune system, where one infection when means in our body, when the infection which will be, when the virus which will be creating infection into our body, so with the subsequent infection with another virus, so interferons interact. So we will give the interferons in multiple sclerosis, and what it act in our body, this interferons interact with receptors so on non-infected cells. Means it will be interacted with the cells which will be non-infected to promote the synthesis of antiviral proteins. So when it will be interact with these non-infected cells, and it will be promoted that cells to synthesis or development of the antiviral protein that prevent the further infection. They belong to cytokines, which are hormone of the immune system. Means this interferon which will be belongs to cytokines, and the cytokines which are hormone which will be from immune system. So it significantly it is an antiviral agent. So these are the current treatment which will be used for the patient who are having the problem of multiple sclerosis. So these all are about the multiple sclerosis. So it is a disorder of inflammatory, it is an inflammatory or a demyelinating disorder, and it will be basically affecting to the age group of 20 to 40. And this disorder which will be because of own immune system which will be attacking to the myelin sheath, and because of this the myelin sheath which will be inflamed, and because of this the neuron cells which will be not able to transmitting the signal to the other organs, and because of this the patient is showing the sign and symptoms. So these all are about multiple sclerosis, and thank you students.